The Song of the Ocean Stones. Far beyond the cliffs and dunes, where the land surrenders to the sea, lay a stretch of coastline untouched by time. Here, the waves whispered ancient secrets as they rolled gently over the shore, and the horizon stretched endlessly, painted in hues of blue and gold. It was a quiet place, where the wind carried the scent of salt and the hum of distant tides. Scattered along this coastline were stones, smooth, rounded and polished by centuries of patient waves. They lay in clusters, resting beneath the sky, each one shaped uniquely by the rhythm of the ocean. Some were small, no larger than a pebble, while others sat wide and heavy, half buried in the sand. These stones had not always been this way. Once, long ago, they were jagged and sharp, edges rough and uneven. They had been part of the cliffs that towered above the shore, standing tall and proud against the sea's relentless push. But the ocean, with its gentle persistence, carried a different intention. Each day, the waves rose to meet the cliffs, brushing against the rock, pulling fragments away and guiding them down into the water. Piece by piece, the cliffs surrendered small shards of themselves, letting them tumble into the surf. The ocean did not break the stones in anger. It simply cradled them, allowing time and movement to soften their edges. As the stones travelled with the tide, they were carried far from where they first fell. Some drifted out to deeper waters, while others found their place on distant shores. And yet, no matter how far they wandered, the ocean always brought them back, rolling them gently over the sand, polishing them beneath the sun until their surfaces shone like glass. The coastline, though quiet, was never still. The wind shaped the dunes, and the waves sculpted the shore with the same patience that had softened the stones. This was a place of transformation, where change did not happen in bursts of force, but in the quiet persistence of time. Among the stones, one rested slightly apart from the others, larger and darker, its surface still bearing faint ridges that the ocean had not yet worn smooth. It had tumbled from the cliffs more recently, and though the waves had begun their work, the stone's edges remained stubbornly sharp. At first, the stone resented the ocean's touch. It resisted the pull of the tide, pressing itself into the sand as if refusing to be shaped. The waves did not force it to move, but gently returned day after day, brushing softly against its sides, each time carrying away the smallest fragment. Over time, the stone began to notice the other stones resting along the shore, those whose edges had been smoothed, their surfaces polished to a quiet sheen. They did not seem broken or less than they had been before. They seemed whole in a different way, as if the ocean's touch had not diminished them but revealed something deeper beneath the surface. As the tides continued their quiet work, the stone began to let go. It allowed the waves to lift it from the sand, to carry it into the rolling surf where the current guided it along the shore. The sharp edges softened, little by little, until the stone felt lighter, as if the weight it had once carried began to slip away. Seasons passed, and the stone no longer resisted the ocean's call. It became part of the rhythm, rising and falling with the tide, knowing that each wave shaped it in ways it could not see but could feel. One morning, as the sun stretched over the horizon, the stone found itself resting among the others, nestled softly into the sand. Its surface was smooth now, marked by faint lines that shimmered beneath the light. It no longer remembered the exact moment its edges had faded, or when it had stopped resisting the sea, but it felt different, lighter, calmer. The ocean, which had carried the stone through every season, whispered gently along the shore as if in quiet recognition. There was no rush, no need to chase the horizon. The tide would continue its work, rising and falling, shaping and smoothing, but the stone no longer feared the touch of the waves. It understood now that change was not a loss, but a return, a gentle unveiling of the shape that had always been waiting beneath the surface. As the sun sank lower in the sky, the coastline fell quiet again, the stones resting in the soft light. The wind moved lightly across the sand, carrying the ocean's song far beyond the shore. And though the waves would continue to rise, the stones would not resist them. They had learned that the ocean does not take. It simply reveals piece by piece until what remains is something softer, something truer, shaped by the gentle persistence of time.